Walking for exercise in the winter can be a real challenge. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things you can do to stay more comfortable walking in the winter, and one surprising benefit if you stick with it. Hi, I'm Dave. It's important for you to know that I'm not a doctor, not a licensed personal trainer, simply a guy who loves walking. Since 2013, I've averaged about 19,000 steps a day, not because I have to, not because there's any research indicating that's what I should walk, but simply because I love walking. And to help you create a habit of walking that you will love, I do a daily 10-minute podcast, Walking is Fitness. And to keep it fun, each episode is not recorded in a comfortable climate-controlled studio, but each episode is recorded while I'm out walking, regardless of the weather. So essentially, we're taking a walk together. And let's do that right now and talk about 5 things you can do to be more comfortable in the winter walking outside. Number 1, know yourself. Know what parts of your body are more sensitive to the cold. For me, it's my ears. And it doesn't need to be really cold for my ears to start complaining. And when my ears are cold and uncomfortable, I don't want to be outside. So I have invested in a bunch of hats, different thicknesses, that allow me to keep my ears warm while I'm out walking. And it drives me a little crazy sometimes when I'm out walking and I see other people my age, even older, and they're walking around with their ears totally exposed and it's cold out. And I'm like, how you doing that? But I need to understand I'm not them, they're not me. I need to embrace it, own it, and quite frankly, invest in keeping my ears warm. So know yourself and own it. Number 2, dress in layers. You probably saw this one coming, but the experts say, in my personal experience, over and over, has indicated that multiple thinner layers keeps me warmer than one really thick layer. And the different layers trap air and it acts as insulation. And so I'm not saying don't wear a thick coat. I've got a thick coat on right now, but there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 layers under this thick coat. And then I've got the hat and the hoodie. So I'm dressed in layers and I'm comfortable, and the wind chill as I'm walking is in single digits. So that's number 2. Number 3, if you consistently walk for exercise, it's possible, probably even likely, that your walking shoes are actually running shoes. And that's fine, that's great. The challenge when it gets cold is that running shoes allow more breathability. And so when it's cold, your feet can get colder faster. Walking shoes, or shoes that are not running shoes, that are thicker and provide more warmth for your feet, can be a real game changer. For most of the time that I've been walking as a fitness activity, what I've been wearing are running shoes. And just sort of got used to the fact that, well, in the wintertime, my feet are going to get cold, invested in thicker socks, which is a good thing. And then this year, for the first time, I'm using walking shoes as my primary shoes to walk. And I've noticed that in the colder weather, my feet are far more comfortable. Lesson learned. That's number 3. Number 4, and this one surprised me. This was a tip I got from my wife this year, in fact. And when she first told me, I thought, well, that's kind of silly. And if you've never heard this or never done this, you might have the same reaction. On the other hand, if this is something that you've been doing, your reaction is going to be, oh yeah, absolutely. So my first layer is a t-shirt. It's always a t-shirt. And my wife said, tuck it in. Tuck it in? Tuck it in. So I did, fully expecting that it was going to make no difference whatsoever. It made a difference. In fact, the second time that I went out for a walk after learning about this new trick, I forgot to tuck it in. And it was cold. And I was out maybe 5 minutes and then realized, oh, wait a minute, I didn't tuck my shirt in. So I tucked it in, and the difference was pretty amazing. Tuck in your shirt. it'll make more of a difference than I think you will realize. And then number 5, give yourself time, give yourself patience, because the body can acclimate to cold weather, but it takes time. They actually did research, I think it was back in the 50s. Military did some research and they discovered it takes about 2 to 3 weeks for the body to get used to the colder temperatures and to acclimate to that. And like, if you're like me, a lot of times it's cold and it's like, I don't feel like going out, I don't want to be uncomfortable, and we don't allow ourselves to get used to the colder temperatures. It takes a little bit of time, 2 to 3 weeks, and then you may notice that your body's internal thermostat is adjusting and it doesn't feel quite as uncomfortable as you were used to. Now, I need to quickly say that, of course, walking outside in the winter can be dangerous. You've got dangerous temperatures, frostbite, hypothermia. You've got slippery conditions with snow and with ice. So I'm not advocating get outside regardless. Just put yourself in danger. You know, one of the great things about walking as exercise is that we can always do it inside. You can walk on a treadmill. You can walk back and forth in your house. You can even walk in place and get a pretty good workout. In fact, there are some aspects of walking in place that make it even a more challenging workout. So you always have that as an option. And then there's a surprising benefit to walking outside when it's cold. Our body tends to burn brown fat for fuel in cold weather, and brown fat burns more calories. So essentially, connecting the dots here, when you're walking outside in cold weather, you're burning more calories, meaning you might be able to lose more weight walking in the winter in the cold weather than when it's more comfortable. If you're just getting started, if you're watching this video as a curiosity about walking as exercise and as fitness, job number 1 is to create a habit, which is really hard to do in the winter, I understand. But I am convinced that you can love this habit of walking. And I invite you to do 2 things. Number 1, download a free resource, 90 Days to a Walking Habit You'll Love. There's a link in the video description. And then check out Walking is Fitness, the daily 10-minute podcast. And let's take a walk together, building a brand new walking habit you will love. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.